This is a game of ball and jacks that children used to play back when I was a kid back in the 1960s. Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And I do remember seeing the game play. It was mainly played by girls. And you see a little bit about the rules of the game, how the game is played. You see a game starts by bouncing a small rubber ball and using the same hand to pick up one or more jacks from a scattered pile before the ball bounces a second time. Players progress through rounds, with each round requiring them to pick up an increasing number of jacks and perform different tasks. And I don't know what they mean by perform different tasks until they successfully complete all 10 rounds. So basically you're bouncing the ball in the air and grabbing as many jacks as you can before the ball goes back down. Okay, I found that the game starts out with 10 jacks and a bouncing ball. I remember the jacks are pretty much all silver and the ball was red. So basically you bounce the ball in the air, catch as many jacks as you can with the same hand, and catch the ball before it bounces back on the table or wherever, I guess, or the floor, or wherever you're playing the jacks. So yes, you're supposed to catch the ball before it bounces once. So if basically a player, the 10 jacks are put on the table, laid out, and the player bounces the ball in the air. While it's in the air, they grab a jack and then catch the ball in the same hand before it touches the table, and puts the jack that you've got in the opposite hand. Then you do the same thing again. You bounce the ball up, grab a jack, and repeat the process. If you're not successful either grabbing a jack before it bounces, or if the ball bounces back on the table before you're able to grab a jack, your turn is over. So if that's, I guess the person's actually out. So then the next player does the same thing, tosses the 10 jacks on the playing surface and does it the same way. If the person is able to pick up all 10 of the jacks one at a time, they move on to round 2. Round 2, they have to pick up 2 jacks with each toss of the ball. And then if they're successful at that, they move on to round 3, and then they pick up 3 jacks at a time with the toss of the ball. And basically you pick up, if you're successful 2 times in a row, you picked up, or 3 times in a row, you picked up 9 jacks, you have a remaining one, and you just toss the ball up in the air and just pick up the remaining 1 jack. Round 4, they have to get 4 jacks and 4 jacks and then 2 jacks. Round 5, they get 5 and 5. Round 6, they got to get 6 jacks and then 4 jacks. Round 7, they need to get 7 jacks and 3 jacks. Round 8, 8 jacks and 2 jacks. Round 9, 9 and 1 jack. And then round 10, they got to get all 10 jacks at once. First person to get all 10 of the jacks in the 10th round is the winner. And I see here you're out if you commit any of these fouls. You don't catch the ball bounces more than once, ball hits a jack, you pick up a wrong number of jacks, touch jack not being picked up. Basically touching another jack that has not been picked up. I was summarizing what they were saying on the video about playing the game of ball and jacks. I'm going to continue to look around on the internet and see what other information I can find on this game. The question came up as, where did the game come from? Kids in ancient Egypt played a game called Knucklebones with sheep toe bones. The game of Knucklebones led to dice games for boys, and jacks usually played with a wooden ball for girls in modern times. Kids followed a bouncing rubber ball. Yeah, I mean, from what I remember from seeing kids play them, especially like, it was basically I don't remember seeing boys ever playing this game. It was girls, and it was a lot of times during recess in school, or I just happened to be walking by on a sidewalk and see some girls playing ball and jack, either right on the sidewalk or in their driveway, sometimes in front of the house. But I do remember seeing the game, but I probably saw it during like the '60s and '70s. But pretty much after that, I never saw it anymore. I'm sure some kids still play it. The game's probably still around somewhere. I haven't really looked for it, but I just I'm just looking for stuff to talk about. And that game of ball and jacks was just, I don't know, just happened to come up. I don't randomly. I don't nothing, no particular reason why it came up or anything, or nothing really. I don't know what made me think of it, but I did, just looking for ideas, I guess, on shows to do. And that's where I need your all's help, looking for shows to do on history, especially obscure aspects of history, shows about preserving history. And if it's feasible, I will research it and base a show on it. And as always, thanks for watching.